Hello and welcome to my AFL fantasy team reveal for February. It is George from Fantasy Take TV. So yeah, obviously the channel is mostly Supercoach, but I do love AFL fantasy. I've played that for the last 2 years and starting to get the hang of it, I think. We'll see how we go this year. But yeah, do enjoy this format. I do like the extra trades that you get, so you can trade more in the back end of the year. I found that really fun last year. Could make a few moves like your Angus Brayshaw and whatnot, whereas it's very hard to do that in Supercoach. But yeah, nonetheless, I think we'll go straight into the team. So I think this year, looking at the all four lines, I think the rucks are pretty difficult. You could say it's easy if you could lock away like your English and Marshall, but I'm a bit hesitant on English at the moment. We'll speak about that after. Defense, it's pretty hard to find. I'm not sure I'm sold on a lot of value here, so I've got a few fair or maybe even overpriced players here, but we'll speak about that as well. Midfield, I do like a lot of the cheap players in the midfield, and I do love the underpriced premiums in the forward line. But yeah, as we go through each line, we'll touch on that and whatnot. So we'll start off in my defense. As you can see, midfield's very light here, but we'll get to that soon. So I've got the Doherty and Dawson, D1, D2. I think Dawson a little bit underdone last year, and maybe Doherty plays a bit more mid-time, and that hopefully helps him as it did last year when he went into the midfield. Because Walsh should be out for the first few weeks, although you never know with that man. He could get back earlier. But yeah, I think Doherty, I have him being Carlton, they have a lot of early games this year, so he's a vice-captain option. I think Dawson, yeah, as I said, a little bit underdone last year. Comes in, maybe plays a bit more up the ground. I think, I'm not sure if you want him more halfback or on a wing, but he does score okay on a wing, as he did for Sydney in the second half of 2021. But yeah, also, I remember this first game that he played predominantly on a wing in 2022 was against Carlton. I believe it was round 8, if not around there, and he scored a 120 in fantasy or something like that. Might have even been a 130. So I'm confident in Dawson, and yeah, he's definitely someone I think everyone will want in their team eventually. Nick Dacos I just think, I don't know if it's last year that spooked me a bit, but I think ownership has come into I never used to pick players because of ownership, but now I'm starting to think about it. Because one, I think ownership's telling you something. And two, if a highly owned value pick goes really well, you're just playing catch up. But if you really don't like the pick, then I guess you can bet against it. Then you can get an advantage. But if you do like the player and they have high ownership, I'll just pick them, I think. So Nick Dacos, he's owned more than he should be, probably because he is Nick Dacos, the prodigy and whatnot. But yeah, having a great preseason by the sounds of it, a bit more mid-time. We'll see how he goes. So yeah, I don't think there's much downside here, but see how he goes. But yeah, he's in for me, and I've got Elliot Yeo. So with Elliot Yeo, I hate soft tissue injuries in the preseason, and his durability is quite atrocious. But you know, West Coast, they love to take a lot of marks back there, and you know he'll be demanding the footy wherever he plays, midfield or halfback. Well, I guess it's easier to demand off halfback, but nonetheless, he's in for now. I used to have Ed Richards here. I'm not sure he took kick-ins in the match sim, but I guess that's something I'll keep an eye on. So I think Yo plays, he scores. It's just that if the body holds up, and as soon as the body doesn't hold up, you got to jump ship. But you know, hopefully he goes up in price until he blows up, or hopefully he plays out the year. That'd be great for him. I love watching him play. I got another West Coast Eagles player here. So I have Jaden Hunt. So the reason I have Hunt is he said in an interview, apparently he's having a good preseason. First of all, like really good. And he said that he played more lockdown at Melbourne, and I think he's going to be freed up at West Coast, probably one of the reasons why he moved, but we'll see how he goes in the preseason. Not expecting big things from him, but you know, 370 odd K, so he's pretty cheap halfback. As again, West Coast love to take their marks down back. So you can see like Hearn and Witherden just rack him up back there. So don't think Witherden will be best 22, and I think Hunt and Yo, maybe even Shuey, I think they're sending back there. Although I think they're just finding a solution for him because probably don't want him in the midfield anymore just because of his durability, but. I mean, he's still serviceable in there, but yeah, don't need to speak much on like Shui, but yeah, and then the rookies here. So I don't know if we actually get players. I've got a bit of money here, like a Josh Weddle we need, but I probably feel Darcy Wilmot if he plays over Ginby, and then just see who we get here. Charlie Dean's injured at the moment. I don't think we'll see Chess around 1, so Yeah, just worry about that when it comes. But yeah, hopefully I don't have to pay up more at D6. That'd be pretty annoying, but I think last year we basically had to. Now the midfield. So I've got the 2 premium midfield. I don't know if that's the right thing here, but I do like the value in the midfield. And that's why, and I don't love the value in defense. And the forward line, I like the underpriced premium. So for that reason, I've ended up with value in the midfield. So Marcus Bontempelli, never been the biggest fantasy player. I guess he's better for Supercoach, but I think at price at 100, the role should improve a bit. He's fully fit, raring to go in preseason by the sounds of it. And yeah, less full time, whatnot, fully fit. I think he can do 105 plus. I think he was tracking for 110 before he copped a shoulder knock in 2021, late in the season, and then he's scoring tailed off a bit, but without Dunkley he does better. So hopefully there's a bit of upside here, and just love watching him play too. So I'll start with Bont, I think, and if he's not top 8, then worry about that later in the season, I guess. But yeah, so I'll go with Bont for now. Not sure on Jack McRae, just see how he looks in the preseason, but it's I've said this on a few podcasts and just on my channel, I don't know about Jack McRae. I honestly have no idea what to expect from him, but I know that his fantasy output has dropped off since the back half of 2021, so that doesn't give me a whole lot of confidence in him, but again, maybe they just play him heaps in the guts or something, so we'll see how they go in the preseason. Tom Mitchell's my next one, so he's 33% owned, so not too bad. I probably thought it'd be higher than that, but I just think the role was going to improve. There was one game last year where he played sick, I think, and then he missed the next week. He was a bit under the weather or something like that. If you take that game out, his average is about a 99, then plus more CBAs, you think that helps him. How does he go into the Collingwood game plan? I don't know, but yeah, I still think he can do like a 105 at the new club. So, and even I'll take that for his price. So for me, he hasn't really moved, and I'm not super confident, but I'm reasonably comfortable because of his price. Picking him will be okay. Dom Sheed, apparently he should get a bit more mid-time. He can play, if he's not good enough to play mid for whatever reason, because he can butcher the ball a bit, maybe they rotate him a bit more on a winger or half forward. But for now, it sounds like he's playing in the guts. So until that's proven otherwise, he's in for now. And yeah, having a good pre-season. Warple's one I'm a little bit worried on, just because I look at Hawthorn's list and do they want to play their talent on the list? They got Mackenzie, Ward, Connor McDonald. Guys have shown some good signs and high picks and whatnot. They have Newcomb in there. Will Day they'd be pretty high on as well. So Warple's probably the least talented and the least skilled, I would say. But he's more advanced than a lot of these guys. So with does Sam Mitchell see him as a piece for the future? If not, he'll take him out. But for now, I think at the price and the role should be good early at least. If he gets opportunity, we'll ride it until proven otherwise. So he's in for now. M5, I've got Finn Callahan. So a little bit of interrupted preseason around Christmas, but apparently he's been doing really, really well. Had a 35 disposal game in the VFL last year. Giants have a nice fixture, and you think he gets opportunity for sure early. So he's a bit of a watch at the moment, and he's kind of just a filler. He was probably my last player picked when just shuffling things around and needing to find a player at a certain price and whatnot, and he kind of just fit in at the moment. But so I'm not super sold on him, but he's a watch, having a good preseason, high talent. What was he, pick 2 or something? Pick 3, something like that. To watch him, he should be. Oh no, Toby McLean's cheaper. Toby McLean, I think if he plays, apparently he's had a good preseason, and I think he'll play. I'd be very shocked if he doesn't play. Hopefully he's not sub or anything, but yeah, he can be. If they give him the mid-time, he can be a forward premium, but I'm not sure it happens. So I think there's too much value to pass up, and I'm a big fan of him. Did well, scored the ton in the final last year. Ashcroft speaks for itself, and so does Will Phillips, based on what his preseason has looked like. But we'll see how he goes in the preseason, and then rookies, just hopefully we get some basement ones. The rucks, I've got Rowan Marshall and Jared Witts. I think Marshall speaks for itself. I think he should get the ruck time, judging by what Saints are saying, and the value is too good to pass up. So he's in for me. His scoring is much higher when he's solo rucking. And then Jared Witts is an interesting one. So what's weird about Witts? is his super coach was worse in the second half of the year, but his fantasy scores were better. So I do wonder, because his marks were slightly up. Didn't calculate. I just looked at with my eyes just over footy wide. But yeah, I just found it interesting that his fantasy went up, but his Supercoach scoring went down. And he used to be, traditionally, he was better at fantasy than Supercoach, but last year he was better at Supercoach than fantasy, in the first half of the year at least. So, maybe he was just building a bit of fitness because he was coming off the ACL. This year, for preseason, he's 30 and a half, so he is quite old, but we've seen Gawn and Dean Cox back in the day and a few others like Goldstein. They were fine when they were 30, so we'll see how they go. But yeah, he'll shoulder the ruck. No, durability is outstanding. Bye is fantastic as well, so he'll be really, really easy to cover over the buys. He is one of the early ones. And he's one where I just hope, just give me like I guess you kind of hope for low 90s and no trades, and then you just chill. So yeah, the reason why I don't have Tim English is durability, I think. Already another issue in the preseason. Missed a few sessions around Christmas time. Now is having a week off for the adductor issue. I don't know. Maybe I overthink it, but it's not really. I think I just don't want to deal with it because he was a nightmare. I had him in and out twice last year, I think. So anyway, we'll probably forgo him, but hopefully he doesn't punish me too hard. And then the forwards, as I was saying before, I think the value of Dunkley, Cogs, Taranto, and Rosie, and to a lesser extent Zach Butters, I think it's quite hard to pass up, and the ownership's really high. So I don't want to be giving up free value to the rest of the comp. So across, if you look at the 2022 CBAs rather, the 2023 CBAs for all these players should be up, and it's as simple as that. And Dunks, Taranto coming into their prime. Rosie, maybe a few years away, but still outstanding player. It's 5th year, so enough preseasons. And then Cogs a bit older, but Giants have a nice early fixture as well, so that's kind of nice. Miller, I'm pretty high on Wayne Miller this year. I've been negative on him in the past, but I think halfback role now, flying in the preseason. Dawson apparently is supposed to play a bit more up the ground. He might get kick-ins, so I think he will. Look, things can go wrong with this pick with like durability and whatnot, and maybe he just doesn't play the role well or something, because he is prone to a few turnovers from what I remember last time, but for the most part, does use the ball well and can break lines. So I think they'll back him in early, and I think he'll go well. And that's pretty much it. So still a preseason watch, but yeah, I don't see him moving, to be honest, for the time, or unless proven otherwise. And then I have Luke Pedler here, having a great preseason. I think it sounds like he will play largely forward, so he's not going to be a great on-field option, but I think I could maybe get Philippou, but I think he's injured or something. So again, like I've got McLean here, so maybe McLean can go forward, and I just need one rookie from mid or forward, and I've got a bit of money in the bank, so maybe that can be sorted out in the preseason. And then the rookies, I think Fergus Green plays. I think Van Ruin is a good chance, but they've got Brown and McDonald there still, so I don't know what that looks like. I think Chandler was playing in the ones in the match sim, and then that's just a loophole. I haven't touched on these rookies, but they're just watches. I think they've had good preseasons. So yeah, that is my team for the moment. I'm quite happy to sit on this team until the Amy series, and then I'm sure we'll make a few changes based on what we see. But yeah, I feel comfortable with this team. Slightly nervous on not having too many mids, but yeah, the first thing we'll want to do if we were to go with this team, I think, yeah, the first thing we need to do is fix up F6 and, throw McLean forward, grab a captain option, then hopefully like a Wilmot and Ginby can just hold down D6 for a while and then fix that up next. So yeah, definitely want to get a captain option first. I think with the mids, I think Took and Merritt look like they could be in line for tags early. Same with Brayshaw if he cops Winhager in round 1. And all you need is one of these guys to cop 1 or 2 tags in the first 5 weeks. They drop and you swoop on them, and then you get the bounce back. So I think that's the plan. But yeah, that's whenever you plan 5-6 weeks in advance, it just never goes to plan. But I think I'm hopeful that's what we can do. So yeah, hopefully I have a good year in fantasy. I'm really, really excited for fantasy. For me, Supercoach, it does stress me slightly just because you got a channel and whatnot. You want to do well, and we've got like a members program now, so you absolutely want to do well for them. But I like fantasy because you can trade your way out of bad situations a little bit easier. Or you can steamroll ahead if you have less issues while you're upgrading more while other people are dealing with their durability issues and whatnot. So and yeah, you can trade in the first 5 weeks. Where in Supercoach you just hold in the first 5 weeks as much as you can. So you can jump on the guys that you can get a bit more data on. So yeah, pretty excited for fantasy this year. And yeah, we'll do weekly videos for fantasy. So feel free to tune in if you like this content. If not, all good, you can go elsewhere. But that's all from me. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one.